All right, guys, I'm using a little makeshift tower. Do my first video, secants, tangents, and angle measure. If you're following me in the Glencoe book, we're on lesson 9.6. All right, so we've got the title, secants, tangents, and angle measure. But this section, we're mostly focusing on tangents. I'm sorry, excuse me. Secants and angle measure, okay? All right, so what are secants? We've got our circle right here. Secants are basically lines drawn through a circle. This is a secant. As you can see, it's passing through the circle, kind of slicing it off. Here's another secant. All right, cutting it off at two other points. This section right here, if we were to just cover up these two rays and look at that little line right in the middle of the circle, this would be called a chord. Okay. Now notice, this is going to be different than the diameter. The diameter goes right through the center, where you could draw a line anywhere from that center point to the side or to the edge of the circle, and you would have a radius. And this would all be the same length. Okay, no matter where you started from in the center, whatever side you touched, that would be the radius. This is not that. These two are different, okay? We're starting at the ends. These are not diameters. They're cutting off at different parts. Now, the whole reason why they're covering secants in this section is because we're going to try and figure out the measure of when these chords cross. All right, let's move on up. Let's give you a little example, okay? Got my circle. All right, not quite a circle, but the best I can do. Got my lines. As you can see, they're intersecting. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this is the center point. Yes, they're intersecting, but it's not the center point, okay? I'm not specifying that. What I am going to say is I want us to find this angle. If I wanted to find that angle, I would rely on two measures. We're going to rely on this measure, and we're going to rely on this measure. Okay, do you see how it's going across? Now, let's just call this measure A instead of a question mark. But if I wanted to know this measure, if I wanted to know that measure, well, then I would rely on this measure and this measure. Do you see how every angle relies on two measures? Now, that's because what we're going to do is, in order to find the measure of angle A, okay, this is the formula. We're going to use a half times, well, I already said A. Let's just say CD, E, F. In order to find the measure of angle A, I'm going to use CD, and this is how I write it out. I do a measure of CD, this little arc sign, plus the measure of EF. Oh, hold on a second. All right. And this little arc sign, okay? All right, now obviously I don't have any numbers specified. I'm just giving you a general idea. So what I would do is take the angle of this, CD, plus EF, times it by a half, and I would get my measure for angle A. Simple as that, okay? Let's try some examples. All right. Let's look at this one example. We've got two chords. We've got two secants intersecting the circle. We'll call this point in the middle D, T. That's V. This is R, S, U. Yes, I said that's the middle, but no, it's not. It's not exactly the midpoint, okay? It's just where they're crossing. All right, trying to find out what this is. X, all right? They're giving us this measure, 130 degrees. They're giving us this, 84. Now remember, this right here is an arc measure, okay? We're gonna use these two arc measures to figure out the inside X, all right? Do you remember our formula? It's a half times, in this case it would be TU plus RS. So what's TU? It's 130. What's RS? 84. PEMDAS, you're first adding these two together, okay? And you're gonna get 214. Therefore, measure of angle X is 107. Okay, it's as simple as that.